Nostalgia is king, and today I'm going to build a 1990s car audio system right here on my table with some brand new speakers to show you, so stay tuned. Many people claim, and I actually agree, the 1990s was the golden era of car audio. Not all of us are fortunate enough to have a system from the 90s as well as a vehicle from the 90s to show it off, like my buddy Felipe here. But what a lot of people tend to forget is the head units and the amplifiers and everything else in car audio can actually be used at home. Now, I've shown this before, and I'll actually link to the video in the video description below if you want to go check that out. But what I wanted to show today is assembling a car audio system here so you can see it and testing it out on my table. But I've also got some new speakers I want to show off, and we'll show you the different components that are utilized. And yeah, this is just going to be a lot of fun. Now, the head unit here is straight out of Japan, but we're going to get into that here shortly. In order to test the sound of the head units, of course, we have to have some speakers. Nothing like some brand new speakers, and these are from German Maestro. In full disclosure, these were sent to me free with no strings attached, so let's check them out and see what they're all about. Before we do that, let's talk about MB Cort. Their history goes back all the way to 1962, where they manufactured OEM products such as microphones, headphones, and headsets under the name MB. In the 1980s, they entered the car audio scene and were extremely popular throughout the 1990s, winning many sound quality contests and championships. Why might you ask, am I talking about MB Cort when referring to German Maestro speakers? Well, after being sold a few times in bankruptcy and name rights purchased by Maxonics, former employees and an investor purchased a facility in Germany and restarted building speakers under the name German Maestro. And if you were a fan of the MB Cort sound from the Q series back in the 1990s, then surely you'll like the German Maestro versions, which we're going to check out today. In fact, we're going to check out the least expensive versions from their Alpha line. These are called the AC6511 Coaxials. These are two-way, incorporating a 6.5 inch or 16.5 centimeter polypropylene cone driver with a rubber surround, as well as a 0.75 inch or 19 millimeter titanium dome tweeter. Impedance is 4 ohms, power handling 50 watts RMS, frequency response 40 Hz to 28 kHz, crossover frequency 4500 Hz at 12 dB per octave, sensitivity 90 dB, 1 watt 1 meter, price $285. They did leave me access to a code, so check a link in the video description if you want to save, I believe it's 10% off if you want to purchase a set of these. But I'm going to check them out today, see how they sound. We'll show you what they look like, and I'll let you know what I think about them. So what I decided to do here today is take out some 6.5 inch home speakers that I have, remove the mid-range, and just use these without the tweeters that are built into the home speaker. We're just going to use the coaxial. So let's go ahead and take out these 6.5 inch drivers, and we'll replace with the AC6511s. Again, we're not going to be using the tweeter there. It's built into the box. I like these terminals on the back. They're kind of like the barrier strips that you purchase, so you can insert the wire like this, or you can use one of the fork style or spade style connectors if you prefer. I really like the way these have so many holes in them because you can virtually line up pretty much in any car, and they do line up here in the box. The only thing you will notice is that the tweeter is turned just a little bit to the left. Some of you guys are going to freak out saying they should have been straight, but hey, we just wanted to make it work for today so we can get a good sound. They look good in the box here, completely sealed up. And we're going to fire them up here and try them out. Of course, we need to break them in some, but we'll do that off camera. Now for the fun stuff, let's get everything assembled together. Of course, we have the German Maestro speakers we've already shown you. We have some other components here as well, including a precision power amplifier. We have a little double DIN box here, as well as the double DIN components. Have some magazines kind of laid out here just to show you some nostalgia. And speaking of nostalgia, back in the 90s, Precision Power with their Art Series amplifiers were definitely bring back some nostalgia for those who remember these beautiful amps with the artwork by Carolyn Hall Young. And a lot of these amps were used back in the day with MB Cort speakers. So we just wanted to make it kind of a throwback system here using a Precision Power amplifier with the brand new speakers from German Maestro. And here you can see the internals of this Precision Power. This is the A300. I have shown it before. It's rated 75 watts by 2 at 4 ohms. And as the test shown, it did exactly that. so it did right at the rated power. Now, these amplifiers use these Weco style connectors, which are not my favorite, but we are going to get it all wired up at the power and ground, and of course we get the left and right speaker and the turn on, and we'll plug in the RCAs, and then we'll be ready to fire it up. But before we do that, we have to show you what we use for this system. Now, I've talked about this before, but haven't really gone into depth, and I won't today either. But this Taramps power supply, this is called a smart power supply, $157 on Amazon. I'll leave a link below, but I've been using this for several months and been very happy with this, and it definitely warrants you to check it out if you need a power supply. It also charges batteries. It has a lot of smart features as well. I've been very happy with it. I did cover that and some other options in the video I've already talked about before about using your car stereo at home, so make sure you check the link in the video description about that. And now to the Japan only Alpine series here from 1995 and 1996. We have two different head units here strapped together. First off, we have the CDA 7841J. This is the single disc CD player. We also have the TDA 5641, which is the Spectrum Analyzer EQ with a tape deck built in as well. We'll show you how that operates together. Now, back in the day in 1995, 99,600 yen equates to around $1,350 in 2026 money. Of course, these are still available if you check eBay. I'll leave some links below if you want to look them up. But the CD player is around $350, and it's really hard to find a tape deck, but I did find one that's sold in Japan for a couple $100s, which I doubt you'll find it that cheap in America. Now, you'll notice a lot of wires coming out of the head units, but the important part is the CD player connects in to the Spectrum Equalizer tape deck via just the one plug. So all you need to hook up is the power, ground, and remote to be able to hook this up on your bench. So that's what I did. So let's go ahead and power it up. And of course, I could have used the power antenna on the head unit to be able to turn on the amplifier, but I set a separate power turn on the amplifier here. You can see the red light. It's good to go. First off, we'll insert a CD and see how it works. Mozart Jupiter Symphony. So off camera you didn't see, but the laser is kind of slow to read CDs with this unit. So we want to go ahead and try the tape deck now as well. And let's try out this EQ tape deck and see how it works. So it's a little unfortunate that the tape fidelity doesn't sound very good here. Sounds like the speed is off a little bit, plus the bass is distorting some. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But hey, it's 90s equipment. What do you expect? This Alpine 7841J, the CD player here at the bottom, actually was added Bluetooth by somebody, the previous owner or something. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch it over. What you have to do is switch it to the AM. Once you switch it to AM, it enables the Bluetooth, and we'll pick out full speed ahead here. Play it. Pretty cool. Adding Bluetooth to the AM signal chain on these old radios is a thing. Technicians can do it. I'm not sure. The previous owner must have done this. But let's try out this EQ modes now and see how it sounds. Of course, we got to play everybody's favorite version of the Sparkomatic song. Let's start it up.
Sparkomatic, iconic static, bass so manic, you can't handle. Sparkomatic, turn the key, let's take a ride. Sparkomatic, feel the pride. Subwoofer stomp, the bass won't hide. Best sound system nationwide. Oh really? Yeah, really. Gateway speakers blowing minds. Your own cassette redefined. Sparkomatic.
I was impressed with the sound of the German Maestro speakers. The more I listened to them, the more I liked them. Now the head units, unfortunately, the CD player had an issue tracking CDs. Also the tape deck didn't sound that great. But the previous owner adding the Bluetooth and the US tuner to this Japanese unit made it very useful in today's stereos, and for playing with it on the bench or playing with it in a car, very cool overall. And of course, I've always said watching the dancing lights makes me smile, makes most people smile, because things like this are very valuable these days. People love this and can't get enough of this visual display. And with this unit, it's got a tape deck as well, so very cool. Once again, the video was not sponsored by German Maestro, but if you want to check out their speakers, I will leave a link in the video description below. You can go check them out. Save 10% off with the coupon I provide. I'm really curious how you guys are using this old school car audio equipment. If you're using it in your garage, in your car, in your house, let me know. I'm going to show you a little garage/home system set up by Stephen B. I'll leave a list of all the products he used below, but Alpine head unit and EQ, as well as an Alpine amplifier. He also has some Alpine 6x9s, which are really cool there at the very top, and a Kicker C10A subwoofer. Really cool setup altogether. If you guys have something like this, send me an email, oldschoolstereo@gmail.com. Send me some pictures of what you got set up. Maybe you'll show up in a future video. Till next time, this is Big D. I'm out of here.